Good evening, I'm Annabelle Tiffin. Welcome to North West Tonight. Our top story, 3 more men are jailed for smuggling 50 tonnes of drugs worth £7 billion into the country, disguised as onions. The investigation is the UK's biggest ever into drug smuggling and involves people from all across our region. Also tonight, residents react angrily as a company expands close to their homes without the required planning permission. Facebook friends with a difference, how one post on social media made a transplant match a reality.
Another cloudy day today, but it made for a lovely picture at the coast. And tomorrow, well, we're on the promise of some sunshine. For how long, though? You'll have to join me at the end of the programme, and I'll let you know all the details.
Three men have been jailed for a total of almost 50 years for their involvement in the country's biggest ever drug smuggling conspiracy. They were part of an organised crime group based in the northwest who hid almost 50 tonnes of drugs in imports of fresh fruit and vegetables. The gang's leader from Widnes has already been jailed along with a string of other accomplices. Katie Barnfield was in court for the sentencing this morning. She joins me now from the newsroom. And Katie, this is quite an incredible story, isn't it?
It is, Annabelle. The judge, Paul Lawton, said earlier this was drug smuggling on an unprecedented scale and said the level of criminality on display was breathtaking. Now, 3 of the group members got a total of 50 years in jail between them at Manchester Crown Court earlier. Sahil Qureshi, who's from London, and then Khalid Vizier and Ghazanfar Mahmood, who are both from Greater Manchester. Now, in videos released by the National Crime Agency, you can see some of the techniques that the organised crime group used to smuggle almost 50 tonnes of drugs into the UK. They would set up fake businesses and then hide the drugs in consignments of fresh fruit and vegetables. They'd often use foods like onions and garlic to try and disguise the smell. In fact, the gang bought so many onions, up to 50 tonnes a week, that they needed to get rid of them and would have to keep sending them between the UK and Europe. Prosecutors estimated the total value of the drugs they managed to bring into the UK was up to £7 billion. Now, the gang's leader, Paul Green, who's from Widnes in Cheshire, who was known as the big fella, has already been jailed for 32 years. But the court heard earlier that Sahil Qureshi was a high-level executive member of the group who reported directly to Green. He said Qureshi and Vizier were career criminals and told the court they'd been secretly recorded in a London restaurant together discussing drugs and other criminal opportunities. Vizier was also caught on CCTV opening a bank account for the criminal group, along with a Dutch crime boss they were working with while trying to open new smuggling routes into the UK. Qureshi was jailed earlier for 25 years, Vizier for 20 and Mahmood for 3 years and 9 months.
Katie, thanks very much. A do not drive warning has been issued for Manchester city centre ahead of a particularly busy schedule of events. Tens of thousands of people are expected for Sunday's derby match at the Etihad, 2 Paul McCartney gigs at Co-op Live and Disney on Ice shows at the AO Arena. A pop-up park and ride is being set up in the hope of easing congestion.
I anticipate the weekend to be really busy, certainly around the hours of between 2 in the afternoon and about 7 or 8 in the evening, so people could retime the journeys and travel outside those hours. If they have to drive, that'll be much easier and they won't get stuck in traffic.
Planned strikes by workers at train company Avanti West Coast over the Christmas holidays have been suspended. Members of the RMT union were due to walk out on December the 22nd, 23rd and 29th. Union members who work as train managers will now vote on a revised offer aimed at resolving a row over rest day working. The cost of using the Mersey tunnels is likely to rise again from April next year. The 20p increase to £2.30 for a single trip through the Kingsway and Queensway tunnels is expected to be approved next week. But one campaign group says the tolls should be scrapped or reduced rather than increased. Now, families on a street in Bolton are angry over a property firm which has built on nearby land without planning permission. F1 Real Estate Management has expanded its offices in the Stoneclough area. The land was green space until the summer when a hard surface was installed and shipping containers were moved onto the site. Davinia Ramos has been speaking to residents.
Imagine if the view from your house changed from this to this without any warning. That's what residents like Sarah have been dealing with, and they're not happy.
It was an absolutely beautiful, lush field. There was landscape with trees. It was just beautiful because it had all this wildlife. It's depressing because you'll open your curtains in the morning and that's what you see.
Sarah watched on as the land behind her house was ripped out and replaced with tarmac and shipping containers, as well as this huge fence. The company behind this, F1 Real Estate Management, which runs industrial estates around England, hadn't sought planning permission at the time to expand its premises.
We're the fourth generation now with family enjoying this house, and now we don't have a view. We're told by the developer, the people who own it, that it's actually, they've improved the site for us, they've improved the view.
Judith lives on the street opposite and says the area has been ruined.
From the moment the diggers arrived and started tearing up the ground, we were like, what are you doing, what are you doing? And they were saying, oh, it's a small car park and it's just expanded. And what's next?
In a statement, Bolton Council say on receiving complaints, officers visited the premises and the owners were advised not to carry out any more work. A retrospective planning application has now been received. Meanwhile, F1 Real Estate say the land at the back of the residents' properties has been an industrial park for a number of decades. Reflecting a surge in demand for storage space from local businesses, we've provided some self-storage containers and yard space in that area. That did involve the removal of some grassed areas and trees. We have submitted a retrospective planning application.
It's just been wiped out. He's not cared about the plants, the trees, he's not cared about any of that kind of stuff. He's just made it into a scrapyard as far as we're concerned.
Residents say they want the company to reconsider and reverse the work they've done. But for now, they have to live with this. Davinia Ramos, BBC North West Tonight in Bolton.
Next this evening, social media often gets a bad rap, doesn't it? But every now and then it can work wonders. Jamie Lonsdale, who lives in Manchester, spent more than 2 years on the transplant list after his previously donated kidney started failing in 2022. With hours and hours of dialysis taking its toll, he put a desperate plea out on Facebook for someone to consider becoming a living donor. Step forward, Lauren, a former colleague who had a very personal reason for wanting to help Jamie. And I'm really pleased to say Jamie and Lauren join me in the studio now. And Jamie, this transplant took place how long ago?
Not even 4 weeks ago, yeah.
Oh, you both look really, really well. Before we talk to you, Lauren, so Jamie, in a nutshell, you needed a transplant, got desperate, so you put a plea out on Facebook. What were you expecting to get from that?
Probably a lot of people wishing me well and good luck and all the rest of it, but to have Lauren actually come forward and it go ahead was a dream come true, really, and totally unexpected. I mean, like I say, it was a huge ask, and I was pretty embarrassed about having to post on Facebook, but I just was so desperate. I didn't really have anywhere else to go.
So to give us an idea of this, how you were at the time, you say you were desperate.
Yeah, I mean, just obviously dialysis like 4 times a week, starting to get other complications, parathyroid disease, bone disease on top of kidney disease. It was quite a grim situation, really, and I wasn't sure if I ever really was going to get a call or if it, maybe it would come too late. So I felt like I needed to do something. And one evening, it was just kind of a spur of the moment type post, just to see if there's anybody out there that would be willing to get tested. And
the person out there was you, Lauren, and you used to work together. But were you particularly close? Had you kept in touch, other than Facebook?
Not really, no. I mean, we worked together for a few years, and then I moved on to another company. And I mean, we stayed friends kind of on social media, but other than that, not really.
So what made you think, I'm going to do this? Because it is a huge ask, as you said, isn't it?
yeah, oh yeah.
For me, I just saw the appeal and I felt like I just needed to do something. I'd previously looked into organ donation before, but never kind of really knew how to go about it.
We mentioned earlier you had a personal reason for looking into organ donation. What was that?
Yeah, so my dad passed away in 2018. He was on the transplant list for a liver, but obviously, sadly, he didn't get it in time. So I obviously know, as a family member of someone who's waiting, firsthand how it feels and the stress of it all.
I mean, it's more than just a little operation, isn't it? I mean, it's quite a big operation for you both, isn't it?
Probably bigger for Lauren, really.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, she got keyhole surgery, I had open surgery, so, you know, different sort of procedures. But, you know, Lauren was going into hospital fully fit and well and came out and, you know, has made a big sacrifice. So, you know, you're still recovering, I'm still recovering. But, you know, I was really sort of at the end of life, really. And now I'm just, you know, I've got my life back and, you know, I've got hopefully 20 years plus now to look forward to. And then, you know, the potential of maybe another post on Facebook, and you never know in 20 years and maybe get another one. So let's just see. But yeah, I'm just so grateful, really.
And Lauren, from your perspective, it is a huge ask. You know, you are giving up a kidney. How are your friends, how are your family reacting to this?
Been really lucky, so all of my friends and family have been really supportive. They understand, obviously, my personal reasons for doing it. And yeah, I've had nothing but support throughout, so I've been very lucky.
Yeah. And does it affect you health-wise going forward? Have they said to you? No,
I mean, you can live healthily with one kidney, and I mean, you go through so much testing beforehand, and they test everything to make sure you're fit and healthy in every possible way, and they wouldn't let you do it if it's a detriment to your own health. So yeah. I mean, it's a bit of an understatement to say it's a good Christmas present, but
yeah, it's amazing. Like I say, it's just a dream come true, and it just feels so surreal that it's actually happened. In, you know, all been wrapped up within sort of 6 months now, and yeah, I can just get on with living again. Living again, and all the things that, you know, maybe you take for granted when you're healthy, and you know, progressing my career, starting a family, travelling, all these sorts of things that you just can't do on dialysis now that I've got the opportunity to because of Lauren. So.
Because of Lauren. Well, thank you both very much for coming in. I'm glad you're both so well as well, and have a lovely Christmas, won't you?
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, IVF has helped millions of people throughout the world to have a family, and the science behind it was developed in Oldham. Well, now the story behind the birth of the first IVF baby born at what was Oldham General Hospital in 1978 is being told in a Netflix film called Joy. Our reporter Mairead Smith, who had fertility treatment to have her own son, has been to meet a couple who had their baby at the same Oldham Hospital in July and are now looking forward to their first Christmas as parents to baby Guy.
Jessica and her husband Rick had been trying to conceive for 2 years before they embarked on IVF.
We did have some times where it was getting to us. It was the early times where we kept trying, and then you go for your IVF appointment, and then they say to you, just try for another 6-8 months or whatever it was. Every time we tested, it was just heartbreak after heartbreak.
I felt really lonely, which is a shame because it's so common for people to need help. And since having the treatment, I know so many people that have had IVF.
Luckily, their treatment worked first time.
I think we did about 3 tests a day for the next week.
Just to be sure.
When you've been through so much, you just feel like, no, surely not, it can't be. But
you just can't believe it, really, after that.
Despite having thousands of followers on social media, Jessica decided not to talk about their treatment until they knew it was a success.
I wanted to really make it clear that, yes, I'm pregnant, but I had to go through this for it to happen.
Our story's really lucky. It
We're
happened
so
to us
lucky,
first time, but
so lucky.
for everybody, it's not that, is it?
No.
Yeah. Do you want me to take the chicken? Baby Guy was born at Royal Oldham in July, where the first IVF baby was born 46 years ago.
The world's first test tube baby.
It's just so special to be there, and it's like, this is the hospital that started it all, and now we're here and our IVF baby's here.
Making babies in test tubes.
You truly believe you can do that?
The story of Louise Brown's birth is behind the Netflix film Joy, Louise's middle name. This is where in vitro fertilisation was developed in the Royton area of Oldham. This is now Dr Kershaw's hospice, but it was once Dr Kershaw's cottage hospital, and it was here that the scientists Patrick Steptoe, Sir Robert Edwards and the embryologist Jean Purdy came together to set up the IVF research lab in 1971.
1 in 7 couples in the UK now seek fertility treatment. 1 in every 50 babies born in the UK are born from IVF now, so it's expanded massively. And what we're concentrating on at the moment now is trying to make IVF as safe as possible and as successful as possible.
Sadly, IVF doesn't work for everyone, but for Jessica and Rick, it has given them joy with their baby Guy.
It is an absolutely a magical science. There's so many people out there in the world who wouldn't even exist without IVF.
Bye, dummy. See you later.
Mairead Smith, BBC Northwest Tonight, Rochdale.
Oh, massive congratulations to Rick, Jessica and Guy. Happy Christmas to all of you. Hello, Richard. Look.
Welcome to Sport Tower, Annabelle. The only thing that is towering here anyway, but never mind. You can't have everything, can you?
It's nice to be up here rather than shouting at you across the studio.
It is.
Big weekends we've heard about sport, but the Manchester derby, I mean, that's always a massive game, isn't it? But this year, both teams struggling a little bit, fair to say?
Yeah, they are. City in particular, Annabelle, as you know, aren't used to this, are they? They're 8 points behind leaders Liverpool at the moment, the champions, with manager Pep Guardiola on the worst run of results of his entire career as well. Ruben Amorim hasn't been in the United hot seat long, has he? But he's already experiencing the unique ups and downs of life at Manchester United, with the Reds 13th in the table. And Ian Haslam's been to gauge the mood ahead of Sunday's big game at the Etihad.
So what do the fans of both sides reckon? We've come here to Manchester Christmas markets, a hotbed of German smoked sausages and mulled wine and other things, and hopefully some valid football opinions. You're a City fan?
I am.
City keep losing. What are your hopes about the derby on Sunday?
Everyone has a bad patch, and ours is over now. And wait until you see on Sunday. It'll be a 3-2 win, City.
At the end, always I said, in this type of situations, I would say in this type of games, as less emotional you are, you will be better.
It comes with City announcing a Premier League record revenue of £715 million. This means they're now well placed to bring in new players in next month's transfer window, though the manager said no to this today and that he just needs his current squad to be fully fit. But after this week's Champions League loss to Juventus, aka the Old Lady, the Daily Telegraph score read Old Lady 2, Old Men 0.
We have got some older players, and I think in the January transfer window we need to buy, but we're definitely not a full squad of old players.
Are City going to win on Sunday, the derby?
I think they will. I think this is the starting point for reset.
Very good opponent. Both teams are struggling in the moment, so I hope in the future feel that real feeling of a derby.
But for United's fans, the anticipation's as high as ever. They're a bit of a crazy watch at the minute, Man United, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a bit of hit and miss, isn't it? Like, sometimes you'll get the players where you think they're going to perform. Like, we had Diallo, we've had Højlund. It's going to be an interesting watch, but I'm not optimistic.
Go with him, trust him, and hope that he knows what he's doing. So, who knows? I'm going to United win, but I always do because I'm biased.
We'll find out from 4:30 on Sunday. Ian Haslam, BBC Northwest Tonight.
He is one of the ones that is the end product of one of our attacks, and he's doing that really well for years in a row already for Liverpool, and let's hope he can continue doing that in the upcoming weeks as well.
The PDC Darts World Championships get underway this weekend, with Warrington's teenage sensation Luke Littler preparing to take centre stage. It's been an incredible 12 months for Luke, who you remember burst onto the scene in reaching last year's final. The Northwest has plenty of other players in with a shout of winning the big prize. St Helens' Michael Smith, current champion crew-based Luke Humphreys. And as I found out, the Littler effect has raised interest in the sport like never before. Superhero status for Luke Littler in an advert that sums up a whirlwind 12 months. Carl Holden, Luke's first coach, runs this shop and practice centre in St Helens, which has helped several champions, including Luke, along the way.
Everybody's talking about Luke Littler and darts. Just wherever I go, obviously in this shop, when Mike Smith won the World Championships, that happened. But this time, just everybody.
43.
Everybody's interested now, even my kids.
Son's 14, it's literally all that age.
What about the World Championships then? Obviously, as you know, there are loads of players from the Northwest involved, not just Luke. How much are you looking forward to it?
Nah, I think it'd be good though. I'm really looking forward to it.
One bumped into him, don't we?
Yeah.
We set them in practice room.
Since Luke burst onto the scene 12 months ago, Carl's shop has been bursting at the seams, with business doubling, meaning they'll be opening new, much larger premises in St Helens Town Centre next year.
This is some of our Christmas deliveries. We've still got a few pallets to go. And
You've got loads and you've got more up here, haven't you?
Yes. Again, that's why we need the new premises. It's got a storage area. And our shop cannot fit one more set of darts in at all. It really, we're that full, we cannot fit one set in. So when they go to the new place, the actual physical shop's going to be, that's just...
Wow, look at all that. So this is for Christmas and New Year, is it?
Christmas dartboards and surrounds and other things, yeah, so...
If I remember rightly, last year, it wasn't like this, was it?
No, that was empty, yeah.
There's a waiting list of 40 youngsters wanting to play at the local darts academy that Carl founded, with the number of junior academies across the country doubling over the last 12 months. Music to the ears of the man himself.
It's everything. Obviously, we've got a darts academy here in Warrington as well that has started up recently.
You're not kidding. Best of luck, by the way, to Sale Sharks tonight against Racing 92. Of course, the Liverpool boxer Natasha Jonas in her huge world title clash against Ivana Habazina in her home city tomorrow night, Annabelle.
Just so much sport this weekend,
So
isn't
much.
it? So much to get your teeth into. Thank you very much, Richard. Before the weekend, though, it is Friday, so that means it is Festive Friday when we showcase some of the most impressively decorated streets in our region. And this evening, Molly Brewer has headed to Blackpool to meet the residents of Condor Grove.
Good evening. Yes, we're here in Blackpool for Festive Friday. Now, what is Blackpool famous for? Its impressive light displays. Well, look no further. Forget about the illuminations. It's all about Condor Grove. These guys go big when it comes to Christmas lights. That's putting it lightly, actually, Dean, isn't it? You live here. This is amazing. Tell us a little bit about it. How did it come about?
So we've been doing it 11 years and it's just gone bigger and better every year.
Tell me, just how many lights are we talking? There must be hundreds.
There's over 10,000 lights this year.
Oh, thousands, wow, okay.
Yes, it's the biggest we've ever done in 11 years.
It's all for a good cause, isn't it?
Yes, it's all for North West Air Ambulance. They don't get no NHS, no government funding. They need £18 million a year to keep running. And they're out 365 days a year, saving lives.
You get lots of people coming and taking a look, don't you? And you've just mentioned thousands of lights. How long does it take for you to put these up, really? It must be quite the job.
So it's a year of planning, and then it's 9 weeks of literally hard graft after work. And we're out here till 2 o'clock in the morning some days.
And what I love about this, Dean, is that there's a bit of rivalry, because over the road we have Ashley's house. Now, Ashley, you are Dean's brother-in-law. I mean, yours is amazing too. I would not like to pick, but is there ever a bit of competition between you both?
Yes, there's a lot of competition, rivalry and competition, to be honest.
Whose is better? Go on.
Mine, to be honest.
I mean, you would say that.
Yeah.
What are we saying, Dean?
Ashley's at the minute, but wait till I come back, bigger and better.
Fantastic. And you've brought your kids out today, and we have Ella here. This is Dean's daughter. Ella, how old are you?
7.
7. So I imagine you're going to get lots of presents from Santa. He's not going to miss your house, is he, this year? What's your favourite thing?
The train with the Santa and the snowman.
Great choice. And are you excited for Christmas? Yeah. Well, there you go, Annabelle. If you weren't feeling festive before, you certainly will be now, albeit you might have a bit of a migraine because the lights are very bright.
They look beautiful, don't they? Every week we're somewhere really beautiful and festive.
I love it.
We were standing here talking about Christmas films, actually, as well, weren't we?
So many festive
Feeling
films.
very festive now.
The countdown is on. It's real. We're very excited.
So that means it's going to get warmer, probably.
Warmer, wetter and windier.
Excellent.
Typical. Too soon for the Christmas forecast, but bear with me. Monday, I'll give you a little hint. Now, today, I mean, we've, repeat the performance, haven't we? A lot of cloud out and about. Over in New Brighton, there was barely a breath of air. The sea was flat. Thank you for sending those photographs in. Lovely to see them, as always. Join me on socials. You can see them there. Or become a BBC Weather Watcher and let me know what it's like in your part of the world. And there will be a change, finally, for this weekend. We lose high pressure. So we are going to see, for a brief time anyway, some spells of sunshine. Then we return back to cloudy skies and it'll be breezy. You'll notice the breeze. Now, this is all thanks to this area, this cold front rather. It's going to sink south as we head overnight tonight. Clearer air behind it, so spells of sunshine. Then a warm front brings us back that damp, dull conditions once again. That's what we've got at the minute. And actually, for some, it's a little bit damp. We've got some outbreaks of rain sinking down on that cold front. Skies start to clear from the north. So in the coolest areas, we're looking at down to about 2 degrees. It will get cooler than that in more rural spots. The breeze just starts to pick up. So the best of the sunshine is going to be first thing. There will be a few showers, particularly for Merseyside, Isle of Man, parts of Cheshire. Elsewhere, largely dry. Best of the sunshine, like I said at first. It will cloud over from the west through the afternoon with top temperatures around 6 to 9 degrees and that breeze gusting around 20 to 40 miles per hour. Now, we're into much milder air. In fact, because that is a warm front, temperatures are going to increase as we head overnight Saturday into Sunday. So starting off Sunday morning, temperatures will be about 7 to 11 degrees. They're going to continue to pick up. There'll be a lot of cloud out and about. It will be windy, quite a blustery feeling day. Top temperatures coming in around about 12 degrees. That's your forecast.
What's your favourite Christmas film?
Oh, could it be Elf?
I think mine's Elf.
Could it be The Holiday? Could it be Love Actually?
I don't know.
Could it be The Grinch? All of them.
All of them, any of them.
And we've watched them all.
That is our weekend planned out, isn't it? Unless you're going to watch North West tonight, of course. Thank you very much for watching this evening. Bye-bye.
Take care.